Here, Jim Prentice has been rolling out several announcements over the last couple of weeks, the latest happening in Olds on Tuesday, where he gave a panel of experts 90 days to come up with a strategy to try and improve healthcare in Alberta's rural areas. They'll be looking at issues around access, recruitment, and whether existing facilities are being used appropriately. New Health Minister Stephen Mandel also on hand for the new initiative, joining us now live from Edmonton, the former mayor of that city as well, and our new provincial health minister. Good morning, Mr. Mandel. Thanks so much for taking the time.
It's my pleasure to be here.
After listening to the rollout, I know it was sort of a smaller announcement in terms of needing more time to take a look at this review. You're just new to the portfolio and looking at the big picture here. When the opposition came out and said, hey, we kind of already know what's going wrong with our rural areas and with AHS, is it fair to say that this is just taking too much time? Is it a fair point that we can just get down to business?
Well, you know, I think that if you talk to the rural areas and you look at the reports that people have claimed outline what's needed for rural Alberta, they don't do that. And I think the response has been quite clear that people want to see us come to their specific communities to find out their specific issues, not look at a macro program that might or might not meet their needs. And so I think the imperative part about this is we're going to talk to people, listen to people, and hopefully be able to make the changes that the people want, you know, within reason.
And what do you mean by within reason?
Well, I mean, I don't know what all the issues they are. We're going to try to make sure that people's needs are met, and we'll, you know, sometimes you can't do them overnight. It might take us a bit of time, but we'll have a good understanding of them, and hopefully be able to meet the needs of rural Albertans who I think are very frustrated with not necessarily that Alberta Health Services, but not being able to be heard well enough over the last little while.
And as you take on this massive portfolio, certainly one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in government and for our province, as you tackle it, are there things that Albertans can expect to see happen that will change maybe our day-to-day exchange with AHS or how we go about using the healthcare system in our province?
Well, I hope that we'll be able to look at moving more of the decision making down to the local level, and I've talked to AHS. That's something they would like to do as well too. And so we're going to move in tandem with AHS and with Alberta Health to make sure that we can kind of get to the communities, see the concerns they have, and try to change the reporting structure so people can make the decision at the local level, kind of create their budget at the local level, and so we can have a system that responds to local needs, which is what people are concerned about.
And you as an Albertan, having now just joined this government, yet to have a by-election, but will shortly, and then join this government full-time in terms of being seated in the legislature. As an Albertan, though, and as a former mayor, sitting back and looking at AHS and how the healthcare system works, are there things that stand out to you and you go, that's got to go, or that's got to change?
Well, there's things we have to change, but I think like everyone else, you know, there's been a huge amount of changes. We need to move in tandem and cooperation with AHS. A lot of really good people there, but there's things that I've been given a mandate to do that will work with AHS to meet those goals. You know, specifically in extended care and continuing care, we're really in desperate need of new facilities. There's a variety of things the Premier's told me to do, and I know that I've met with the people of AHS, and they're very excited about working together to try to find solutions. They're very hopeful that the relationship with me as the minister and Mr. Prentice as the Premier will be a new day, a new dawn, and we'll be able to move together in tandem to find solutions to Alberta's healthcare challenges.
And just very quickly, as we here today have an announcement from the Wild Rose in terms of Calgary Elbow, they're putting their candidate in, setting up for a by-election. Any word yet on where you may be running and when that announcement may happen?
The announcement will come sooner than later, but we'll allow the Premier to move forward on the process he outlines, and we'll respect that. And when he makes those announcements, we will at the same time.
Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for it this morning, Mr. Mandel.
Pleasure to talk to you, and look forward to seeing you. Take care.
That's our new health minister, Stephen Mandel.